The Kaine train getting off track with more allegations. Will this be the end of the campaign trail for the presidential candidate? Plus another Rick Perry gaffe.
Those of you that will be 21 by November the 12th, I ask for your support and your vote.
Stage 4 cancer is keeping one woman from taking the trip of a lifetime.
Big deal. I might not be alive. What good's it going to do? What good's a voucher going to do me?
Why her airline won't give this woman her money back.
We went out Christmas tree hunting with the kids, and we are lost on the mountain.
And the search for the perfect Christmas tree ends up as a search for one family. Your Independent News Network starts right now.
I do not have a split personality. If I did, could I be this happy most of the time? People with split personalities, normally you see extremes in terms of their moods. So no, I do not have a split personality.
He told me a couple of weeks ago he's never cheated. Now, new allegations surface for Herman Cain that has everyone asking, will Cain stay or will he go? Your vote 2012 and what could be Herman Cain's next move. That's where we begin tonight on INN. Hello everyone, I'm Mike Mickle. Thanks for joining us. It depends on who you ask. Some staffers say he's reassessing his campaign. Some of those staffers are already looking for work on other campaigns. Cain wrote on Twitter last night that reassessment does not mean he's dropping out. He's looking ahead to see how his campaign can move beyond the scandals. Ginger White came out this week saying she and Cain had a 13-year casual affair. Phone records show he called or texted her 61 times over a 4-month period, including a call at 4:26 in the morning. Cain denies they had an affair.
I had been attempting to help her financially because she was out of work and desperate.
This alleged affair isn't the only thing tarnishing Cain's campaign. 2 women have gone public with their sexual harassment allegations against him. 2 others say he also harassed them back in the 90s, but they don't wish to be identified. Also in your vote 2012, the oops that's being heard around the world. Yep, Rick Perry did it again.
Those of you that will be 21 by November the 12th, I ask for your support and your vote. Those of you who won't be, just work hard. Because you're going to inherit this, and you're counting on us getting this right.
He got the age of voting and the date of the election wrong during a speech to students yesterday in New Hampshire. As you know, the voting age is 18, and voters will weigh in on the presidential election on November 6th. Federal hearings started today for the man who shot President Reagan back in 1981. A judge will soon decide whether John Hinckley Jr. should eventually be released from a mental hospital. Hinckley has been a patient since his 1982 trial. A jury declared him not guilty by reason of insanity. Hinckley did not testify then, and whether he will do so this time remains in dispute. A Washington, D.C. woman had to cancel her family's dream vacation to Belize because her cancer is advancing. Now she's fighting to get a refund for her airline tickets. Ken Molestina has the story.
These days, the closest Lynn McCain will get to her dream vacation of Belize is through pictures. Her doctor has ordered she doesn't travel and undergo immediate cancer treatment.
I have stage 4 breast cancer. It's incurable.
It's the second time she gets diagnosed with it. After she was treated the first time and was given the all clear earlier this year, her family planned the trip to Belize. They booked 5 round-trip tickets on U.S. Airways totaling $4,200. Problem is, they bought the non-refundable tickets. And now that the trip has had to be canceled, the airline isn't bending their policy on refunds.
It's a human thing to do. It's a compassionate thing to do.
An airline spokeswoman told 9 News, unfortunately, we do not offer refunds on non-refundable tickets, but we'll work with her to waive her change fees and make sure she can use her ticket at another time.
Big deal. I might not be alive. What good's it going to do? What good's a voucher going to do me?
Mrs. McCain has sent letters and medical documents to the airline as proof of her disease and inability to travel. She says it's done little to help her cause. And now as she undergoes chemotherapy for her rapidly spreading breast cancer, she's hoping the airline will make an exception for her and refund the money. In the meantime, she's left with memories of previous trips, hoping one day she may be given the chance to do it again.
I would like nothing more, and I hope that before I die, I can sit on a beautiful beach.
A U.S. Airways spokeswoman said the airline will make the vouchers transferable so a family member can use them, but they will not give a refund. A U.S. citizen held in connection with the disappearance of a Maryland woman in Aruba is now a free man. Gary Giordano was released yesterday. He's never been charged in Robin Gardner's disappearance, but he says he was the last to see her when they went snorkeling in early August. He said he signaled her to swim back, and when he reached the beach, she was nowhere to be found. Aruba's top prosecutor says they will keep working to get to the bottom of what happened. To Iran now, where Britain has closed its embassy in Tehran. This after a group of angry young Iranians broke in and trashed it. The students pulled down the British flag and waved a picture of the Queen, protesting new sanctions against Iran and demanding the British ambassador be sent home immediately. The Iranian parliament voted Sunday to expel the ambassador and downgrade relations with the UK. There's plenty more happening overseas, including 2 key visits by U.S. politicians. Let's check out tonight's Global News Now. The death toll from a deadly fire that swept through a popular tourist market in Hong Kong is now 9. The blaze broke out at a stall close to the ladies' market. 30 people were taken to the hospital for treatment. 4 are in critical condition. No word yet what may have caused that fire, but some reports indicate arson. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has kicked off a 2-day visit to Myanmar. Clinton met the country's military leaders today to see how the country is doing with reforms. Clinton is the first U.S. Secretary of State to visit the impoverished South Asian country in more than 50 years. In just a matter of weeks, nearly all of our troops in Iraq will be home. And ahead of the big withdrawal, Vice President Biden headed to the country to take a look at how things are going. Here you can see a photo of him meeting with Iraq's Prime Minister. Biden told the Prime Minister the U.S. is committed to having a new civilian relationship with Iraq. And that's your Global News Now. Meanwhile, Eurozone finance ministers have approved a $10 billion bailout payment for Greece. That's just one part of a plan to get Europe as a whole out of debt. Today, leaders finalized plans for an enlarged European bailout fund. Well, Haiti gets a much-needed economic boost. And if you're in the market to buy a house, you may want to listen up. Ryan Bass explains in tonight's Back to Business.
U.S. homes are now selling for the same prices they did back in 2003. That's coming from the S&P Case-Shiller National Home Price Index. It shows home prices were down on an annual basis in the third quarter, slipping nearly 4%. Still, that's better than the annual rate of change we saw in the second quarter when prices were down 5%. Ever wanted to own a part of Facebook? Well, now you can. Facebook could soon be opening its stock to the public and could be one of the largest initial public offerings ever. The Wall Street Journal reports the company is looking at raising $10 billion with its IPO in hopes it will increase the company's value to more than $100 billion. Sources familiar with the matter expect it to happen in May or June of next year. There's some good economic news for Haiti. Nearly 2 years after a massive earthquake reduced much of its capital to rubble, Marriott will soon be building its first ever hotel in the capital city. Construction on a 173-room hotel will begin next year and open in 2014.
The move is expected to create nearly 200 jobs in the city. For your Back to Business, I'm Ryan Bass.
Here's some good economic news. Analysts say this Cyber Monday was the highest grossing online shopping day in U.S. history. Sales were up 22% from the previous record, which was last year's Cyber Monday. Online spending on Cyber Monday even outpaced the Black Friday sales. Well, 'tis the season for giving and perhaps taking. Later, a man's money is missing after he accidentally donated $13,000 to charity. We're on the effort to try to find it. And a man who stole 60 years ago is making things right today. A story that may inspire others to right their wrongs. And what forced one store chain to bring back the bell ringers after it banned them? All this coming up on INN.